afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. And I would say congratulations to all of you who have been able to stay married, even if it's just for a day. Yeah, there are many proverbs that have been said as far as marriage is concerned. And some people have even said that if you're looking for a wife material, then you should make sure you're a good teller. Because if they give you a good material and you're not a good teller, you're still going to spoil it. Yet, we have 1,001 sayings, and everybody, I want to believe, have their take when it comes to marriage. But let's just keep our takes aside, our different takes aside, and let's take the take of Reverend Amos Mbenben this afternoon. He has a lot to tell us. He is a marriage counselor as well as an author, and he has counseled more than 50 couples. We are going to hear some of the problems that these couples come to him with, and especially the women. As he told me behind the cameras, it's mostly the women who come for counseling. And so if you're a woman, maybe, just maybe, one of the stories that he's going to be relating on the set can also relate to your own story. So after the transition, we're going to meet our guests and also meet the artist and the chef. Back. He was telling me about how difficult it is to sustain a relationship these days. Whatever the reason is, I cannot begin to list them because myself, I do face those problems. And so I am very sure that if not 100% of you who are watching, there is at least 99 of you out there, out of 100, who are facing one problem or another, be you married or unmarried. And so we are going to hope and believe that there is something that we're going to pick out of everything he's going to be telling us so that we can help ameliorate as well as build up our relationship to be better tomorrow. Good afternoon and welcome to MidiLife, Reverend Amos Mbenben.
Thank you very much, Gwen. Thank you. I'm happy to be here again for the second time.
Yeah. I remember, was it 2019 we called you here on Valentine's Day? Was it 2020? It was 2020?
Yes, February 14, 2020.
Okay, and you're welcome back once again.
Thank you so much.
I think if we're bringing you back, it's because we've seen the need to bring you.
Very important.
Okay, and you're not just going to come and tell us and give us all the advice that is possible, but we're going to be offering you something to eat. And that's why we decided to call on Chef Amel Monti. Bonjour, Chef Amel.
Bonjour, Gwen.
Comment tu vas?
Très bien.
Ok, je vois que notre table est tellement colorée avec le vert, rouge et blanc.
Justement, nous allons...
You're going to be remembered by the works that you do. And I'm sure that not just peace, not just for us to come together and find peace in our country and in our continent and the world at large, but also it's very important that we should put our hands together to make sure that our relationships work.
Yep.
It's very important. Now, once again, back to you, Reverend. How's the family, by the way?
We are doing fine by God's grace.
We thank God. And for how long have you been married?
This is going to the 12th year.
Ah, you've been married for 12 years, and I know you have 4 kids?
Yes.
So how did you meet your wife?
I met her in Boya.
Okay.
When I was in the university.
Oh, so can you remember the day you saw her for the first time?
Of course.
Okay.
The first day I saw her was in front of a shop, provision store. You know, I'm from Oko. I'm from Gashe Oko. So I met her and then she was saying that, hey, she's from Bam Oko. And I was like, wow, this beautiful girl from Bam Oko.
Oh.
I think that's where it started. I just saw her. Then the next time I saw her, you know, it was an invitation. Just like that. That's how the story started.
So you just used the opportunity that she's from Oko as well and started up the conversation.
I think so. Just like that, it just started. And, you know, it's good. You know, when I think about those days, I'm really excited.
That's true.
Where I began the love journey with my wife now. And it's amazing. The more we live, the more the love increases.
Wow.
The more the passion to be with each other increases. So, opposite to what people think, that when you get to live with your spouse, the spouse become old, start become... My wife is more beautiful now than when I met her. I think the concept
Emmanuel,
of oneness is working something. you know, that's how it is.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
Okay.
We are more better now. We are, the Bible says, when the two comes, they shall be one.
Exactly.
So the oneness is not achieved in a day. The oneness is achieved over time.
Yeah.
When you begin to reason together,
Wow.
when you begin to think together, when you begin to understand that together, it's amazing.
Emma. Well, anyways, we are saying a good afternoon to you, Emanuela, and to all the kids, we are saying a good afternoon. I think that, yes, we often say that when a man finds a good wife, he finds a good thing. But at the same time, when a woman finds a good husband, she finds a good thing as well.
Yes.
I think it's a two-way something.
You're right.
And if one way is slow, or if one way is not there, then it becomes very complicated.
It will affect the relationship.
Yet you have a master's degree in hospital administration and a diploma in marital counseling and all of that.
Yeah.
For how long have you been into this career, into the career of counseling?
Since 2012.
Okay.
Yeah, but actually what prompted me to get into marriage counseling was because I began failing in my marriage.
Wow.
Yeah. So there was a day my wife looked at me and she said, "You are not the man I got married to."
I'm married. Yeah, I can imagine her facial expression.
Instead of being offended by such a statement,
yeah,
I took it as a challenge. Why will I live with my wife for 2 years? And then she looks at me and says, "I've changed. I'm no longer the man she got married to." I could have taken an offense. But I say, but there is something that I'm supposed to do that I'm not doing. And it wasn't going again. And at that time, I was actually going out and ministering to people. People were happy. "Oh, man of God, welcome." But when I come back home, I realized that there's something missing.
Yeah.
The only person I'm supposed to minister to is not happy, even though the world is happy.
Yeah.
So I said, no, let me not concentrate so much on the world. Let me come back and minister to the person that God has assigned me to minister to first.
Yes.
And then I began looking at, what makes a man? Is it just the thing in your loins, between your legs?
Yeah.
Oh, there is something that makes a man. And then the Lord brought me to a text. It's in the Bible. Proverbs 24, verse 3 and 4. It says, "By wisdom a house is built. Through understanding it is established. And by knowledge the rooms are filled with all pleasant and precious riches." I now understood the part played by knowledge in marital fulfillment.
Yeah.
And I decided myself, I didn't invite my wife to search for the knowledge. I went myself as a man, as the head of the home, to search for the knowledge. And I began discovering something. That the more I tell my wife, "I love you," that's not what makes a man. The more I want to have sex with my wife, that's not what makes a man. And I began to look for what makes a man. And I realized something which was very critical, and is the foundation of marriage and relationships.
Okay.
The Bible says that when God made a man, the woman wasn't there. And God took the man he has formed and put him in the Garden of Eden. And there was something God gave man first before a woman. God gave man work. And the work must be in the presence of him, God. When you are in the presence of God and you are working, by the time the woman comes to help, then you can see things blending. So we thought as we were growing that to be a man, you've got to be romantic. Yes, the place of romance is there in a relationship.
Yeah, certainly.
But there is a part that you cannot undermine, which is the ability to be the head of a home in the presence of God, taking care of your wife, taking care of your kids, being proud of them. And that's how I began to look. I realized that to have a good marriage needs wisdom, needs knowledge. And there's something I saw. Before you become a journalist, it took you 3 years.
Yeah.
For CRTV.
It depends, even more.
And Cameroon government, I said less.
Yes.
For Cameroon government trusts you with the mic, it took 3 years. But now people wake up, yet you are not sleeping with the mic. You still abandon the mic here and go to your house.
Exactly.
And then you sleep there. But there's somebody that you will always be with. It's called your husband. Yet many people have no time to learn how to live with a husband and how to live with a wife. That's where relationship crisis starts. The fact that we are ignorant. Remember what the Bible says? The Bible says that this is Hosea 4:6. When God said, my people perish for lack of knowledge. You can be a child of God, speaking in tongues, casting out demons, preaching the gospel, but you can't handle a woman.
Very possible.
That's the point. So it takes something upstairs to become a real husband.
Okay.
And that's how God helped me. And I began to do that. And when I saw what I went through and the pains I went through, I had to bring back my wife, to love back. I had to, like what happens in courtship, in relationship.
Yeah. You had to take it all over.
Yes. And then I knew the day I got her.
Aye.
And since that day, we're fine.
Are you celebrating 12 years?
Yes.
Congratulations,
Thank you
because some
very
people
much.
have not been able to celebrate 12 days. No, that's very true. We're being realistic here, and I'm sure that there are some people who identify with me or would say, yeah, I know a story of a couple who could not make it for 1 month.
I understand.
And I believe that it is something that is becoming reoccurrent, and since it's becoming reoccurrent, it's becoming disturbing, because we are talking about till death do us part, and before long we are already saying, I don't want to see you anymore. But yet again, you have been able to counsel about 50 couples.
I think it should be more than that.
More than 50 couples, yeah. For the last how many years? You said you started in
2015.
And 15?
Yes.
So we're talking about roughly 5 years?
Yes, 6 years.
Okay, 5-6 years.
Yes.
Now, who are those who come mostly for counseling?
Okay.
Between the men and the women.
Okay, the issue here is that I receive the female folk more.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, I receive the ladies that are single ladies.
Okay.
And I receive married ladies.
Okay, yeah.
Wives. Because of the broken hearts from their husband.
Yeah.
And then I also receive, the young men, and then now the couples.
Okay.
Yes.
So you receive those who are single and
ladies
still
first.
searching yet to mingle?
Single ladies, yes. Yes. And then when it comes to couple, the wives lead. The wives are the one leading.
Yeah, okay.
So they always come for counseling.
Okay.
Yes. And then we also have the young men, because the young men are also going through a lot of heartbreaks. Yep, the young men. Some of them are really stressing now. When they love a girl and the girl just suddenly just say, I'm no longer there. So, and then the last categories are the couples. By the time I see couples entering my office, I know that God is working.
That's it. God is certainly working every minute and every second. I don't know if you've heard about this slogan that has been going on social media, where you hear women saying, men will not shame us. So because women are so scared of being shamed by men, they believe that before you come and break up with me, let me first of all break up with you. At times it's not always the case. At times it can be mistaken. But maybe some of these women go to the guys to tell them, I'm no longer interested, because they already start seeing the guy acting funnily. Though I would not say that's the case in every situation. But what are some of these problems that these women come to you with?
Yes. Let's talk about single ladies first.
Okay, yeah.
Because once it is going, they don't think about the marriage counselor. The marriage counselor is a heart mender.
Yeah.
That's the name I give to myself. When I wake up in the morning and one of my students call me or text me, I ask what's going on. Because when people are okay, they don't see any reason to actually seek for knowledge when it comes to marriage.
Yeah.
For instance, when you have a car, you don't wait till the car gets bad before you go for services. You have to go service the car when you drive for within particular kilometers.
Exactly.
Like if you go to 25 kilometers or maybe 100 kilometers, you say, let me go and check the oil of the engine. The car is still working, but you are going to check the oil of the engine
to make sure it stays intact.
Yes, that's exactly what relationship is about. You don't wait things to crash before you begin to seek for a marriage counselor. So the reason why people have failed is because when it is good, they spend time kissing each other. When it is fine, they now look for a hard mender, the marriage counselor. Now, the kind of cases we receive are basically cases of the relationship is broken. And then now you see people coming now with a heart that has already been broken, with problems. So majority of the ladies that come, they are saying that it's no longer working.
And any reasons? Because they certainly get to tell you the reasons or the reason why these relationships don't get to work.
Well, at times somebody comes and says, well, the guy used to call, he's no longer calling again. He used to text, he's no longer texting again. And there's something I tell people that, and then now, they themselves are saying that, man of God, I don't understand what is happening. Is it that he's still there for me or he's not there for me? And there's things that I tell people, that there are two things a man will never give you free. Number one, his money. No man, those looking at me now, there is none that can give you a franc without a reason. Okay. He is not your father. He's not your relative, and he's giving you money and you are collecting. I'm telling you what happened. And then the second thing a man will never give to you free is time. Any man who tells you that he doesn't have time to communicate with you, that the work is too much, there is no work too much for a sweetheart. No work. No matter what I'm doing, I must take my phone and say, hello, how are you, sweetheart? How are the kids?
That's
There's a reason for that. Because what you know. So at times when the ladies come in, they say, we used to be. It's no longer happening. And I will tell the person this is the problem. And then now the consequences becomes very critical when they have gone deep in the relationships.
Yeah.
Is somebody, I don't know if you hear me, I feel like preaching.
No. I am listening to you 100 on 100.
I feel like talking. The reason why you see many girls getting hurt during relationships, or when relationships breaks, is because they also giving
too much.
Not even too much, but let me tell you what happened. When a man comes to you, he says he wants to relate with you. And then the first thing he's asking is sex. There is trouble somewhere. Because the moment somebody asks you for sex, and you allow him have sex with you, you have ended the relationship without knowing.
Okay.
Are we together?
I'm trying to be together.
You will get it very well, very soon. Now, here is the issue.
Yes.
Here is the issue. There is the difference between love and sex.
Yes.
A man interprets these two differently, and a woman interprets them differently.
Yeah.
A man can have sex with you without loving you. Yes. But the woman does not believe that a man can have sex with her without loving her.
Okay.
Yes. The woman thinks that that sex is love. No. Sex is not love. Because when a man wants to have sex, he can have the sex with a dog. Anything.
It's just a physical action.
Anything in his presence. Whether who are you. But the heart of a man remains to the person that he loves. So here is the difference. The woman there thinks that the man is having sex with her because the man loves her.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the man loves another person.
Yeah.
I'm telling you why women suffer in broken relationships.
Yeah. Okay.
And then now, when you get into the other side, you realize the moment the man starts having sex with you, the moment he has sex with you, he just leaves now. Because what he wanted has already been achieved. There is something I want people to know. I want people to know this, that there are men who brag about who they sleep with.
Yeah.
And they do it amongst the men's group. I'm talking to women. You may be thinking that somebody loves you, but he bet his 50,000 francs somewhere. And they know that you are a very strong woman. So by the time they get you, he's no longer there.
Yeah, he's already won the bet.
He's gone. And then the issue that now you have already, because I told you about a challenge. The challenge is the woman loves you first before sex. But the man have sex.
Yeah, maybe
he never even love you.
Yeah.
That's where the challenge. If somebody comes to you, the person has his wife. He's telling you he wants to divorce his wife and be with you. And then before you see it, he's asking you sex. You crazy? Something's wrong with you. That's where relationship begins to have problems.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, Reverend, let's go now to the married women.
Yes.
Yeah, because one way or the other, our focus is on the women because they tend to get it really bad at the end of every relationship.
I understand.
And we're going to certainly talk about the men, but what about these married women? What are some of those pertinent or those reoccurrent problems that they come to you with?
Okay, let me give example. Like a couple comes in.
Yeah.
You know, I used to be with my wife, with my husband. We are okay. But recently, I no longer understand him. Then I say, why? He does things without talking to me again, without consulting me. He's building a house without me knowing. He's carrying out this business without me knowing. That becomes a problem in a relationship.
Yeah.
Or another one, the extreme case is that he's no longer there for sex. He's no longer there. So now the question is, this is one lady coming. Is the wife coming? The man is not in my presence, and that's why it begins to get worse. Now I asked the woman, because I'm getting somewhere. Right now it's going to be hard inviting the man, because the man don't care. He is a leader. That's why I prefer a man to come and complain to me about the wife than a wife complain about the husband.
Yeah.
Because it's easy for me to bring the wife and talk with than be able to bring the husband, because the husbands are leaders.
Yeah.
I will only beg the husband to come. I will plead to come. But the husband can decide not to.
Yeah.
But how do I handle this issue? There are questions I ask.
Yeah.
There is something. I know we are here talking general things.
Yeah.
And we know that our audience are wide. But the issue here is the foundation of any relationship. Many people don't care about the foundation.
Yeah.
I've always asked, when you got married, were you a child of God? I ask that question for those who come to me.
Yeah.
Because managing the situation, it depends on the two where somebody positions himself or herself. If you are a child of God, the next question I ask, is your husband a child of God? Because if both are children of God, it's easier for me. Or I refer you to your pastor.
Yeah.
Where your pastor can call you to the church and then talk with you. But as long as you said you are a child of God, you are a child of God, your husband is not a child of God, I am now worried, because your husband is not under authority. Authority means you are not allowed to marry anybody who cannot be rebuked by a human being. So that when you have a problem in your marriage, that person can call you. That authority could be your pastor and could rebuke you and say, you can't treat your wife like this. And say, woman, you can't treat your husband like this. This is what the Bible says. But when you marry an individual who is not under authority, is the first sign that we are in trouble.
Because he doesn't get to listen to anybody, or she doesn't get to listen to anybody. Okay.
And then in the course of relationship, you can realize that a man begins to slap you. And then you say you are in love. Because many people who are in love, they are at the same time, they are like those who smoke banga, because they don't reason. When somebody is in love, he doesn't hear you. It's like, because it's the same thing. Because there are chemicals that are released in the brain of a person who smokes banger. And that person can stand on the road and says, this truck that is coming like this, get out. But the truck is coming to crush the person. That's how it goes with love. Many ladies who are in love and men who are in love, that chemical is released and it goes straight to inhibit the reasoning capacities of their brain. And they are no longer thinking.
I think we're going to we're going to be eating soon so that we know. Ça avait la dot une fois. Ça fait quand même longtemps.
Quand tu vas d'abord finir de préparer, on va d'abord commencer par là.
Okay, merci beaucoup, Albert.
Merci.
Now back to you, Reverend Amos. Yes, people come with problems, but I want to believe that there is a problem that one has come to you with that has personally spoken to you, or I don't know, like this
Challenge.
out of the ordinary problem that someone has brought to you, not the problem that you get to hear every day.
Yeah, one of the things that I see, because there are some problems that you take time to solve them.
Exactly.
You can get it today. It takes you around 1, 2 months, 3 months to solve it. And it becomes complicated when none of the parties wants to get you.
Exactly.
You give this one, this person says this one, especially when it has to do with trust in a relationship. It's a very serious issue. So I've got cases, not just one, but many cases where you tell them to do this, they go and do this. You tell them to do this, they go and do this.
Just the opposite of what you've asked them to do.
Yes. And then they think that they can survive in that case. For instance, if you have a problem in your home, like if I have a problem with my wife, I don't point fingers at my wife.
Yeah?
No, both of us sit down and we try to look at the solutions to the problem.
Yeah.
When a man comes to you and says, I've been telling her during counseling program, it's terrible. You don't marry your student. Because some people married and then they feel like they got married to their subordinate.
Exactly.
Like the boss and another person to give instructions.
You're just there to give
You
instructions.
don't do that. You are getting married to a suitable helper. And then the helper is getting married to the husband. So when people come to you, they can't agree on anything. It becomes very dangerous. Because normally they are supposed to come and say, this one, let's sit back and think about what we're going to do. You can cause them, get them to reason in the office. But once they go home, another thing comes up.
Yeah.
And it becomes very difficult. I can't say this is the case, but it's a recurrent thing in marital relationships.
Okay. Since we all have, I think massage is one of the things that we are advising you to do this afternoon. Yet, Reverend, there are still too many things that you want to tell us about as far as marriage and counseling is concerned. Now, you have these problems, you have these people come to you with their problems. What are some of the solutions that you propose to them? Or what are some of the approach that you use to solve these problems?
Okay. One of the things that we do is to take them back to the mind of God.
Okay.
Very important. We want to let people know that God's heartbeat is a family. The family is the first institution that God established. Not the church, not the country.
Yeah.
God knows that if the family is fine, the church will be fine, the country will be fine.
Yeah.
So I think that the nation's resources should go towards trying to establish families.
Okay.
And I speak to the men. I say, please, go back, love your wife, love your kids. There is no joy in having many wives.
Yeah.
There is no joy. You need to see that. And women, all that I advise you to do is to submit to your own husband. Submit to your own husband, not to any man.
Own is in capital letters.
Yes, your own husband. And then children, love, now obey your parents. A child who gets out and then sleeps with a man without parental recognition is a failure, not only to God, but also to his parents. Now, let's get back to the original. You are not supposed to go to a man's house and begin to sleep with a man without your parental recognition. I don't want to say bride price. I say without your parental recognition.
Yeah.
Because the audience I'm talking to, not everybody is a child of God.
Yeah.
But bride price is what you are supposed to do. When our brother says he's living with the I'm just smiling. Because that's where the problem begins. Now, let me shock my audience with something. The reason why you need parental recognition, because something can happen in your house and you will not be able to know where to go to. If it's the night, you wake up in the morning, your wife has died. Where will you take the corpse to? The parents do not know.
That you have a relationship with
I
her?
know situations where a man was called and said, your daughter has died in Douala. And the man said, I don't have a daughter in Douala. I have a daughter in the University of Boya. These are the things that can make people grow mad. Let me tell you something. Who amongst us here will like your own daughter to sleep with a man without the bride price being paid? Nobody likes that. So why are we doing it? So if we want to bring sanctity to the family, let's stop going out without parental blessings. Let the man also be careful leaving the wife and going out. There's something that I say if you want to ruin your future, commit fornication. If you want to ruin your future, if you want to destroy your home, commit adultery.
Okay.
So I tell them, go back to the original thing that we have. Let's build our family. Let's protect our family. The family should be one of the most important things that you sit and say, this is family. The husband and the wife and the children sit down and say, nobody comes in between us. We are us, and we are going to do what we're going to do. That's what happened. I bring them back to God.
We are family and we are one.
Yes.
Thank you so very much, Reverend Amos Mbenben. That is how it's pronounced, right?
Of course, Mbenben. In
Okay,
Oko,
Mbenben.
in Oko, we pronounce Mbenben.
Okay, Reverend Amos Mbenben.
Yes.
What a name.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you so much.
And as they say, I don't know how true this is, but they say the way to a man's stomach is... I don't know. No, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
Yeah, every man loves good food.
That's it. And I'm very sure that this afternoon, Chef Amel is going to be offering you or serving you good food. So please, let's go to the table.
Wow.
Please have a seat. And Chef Amel is going to start with you because you are our guest and you want you to tell us what you think of the food we're going to be offering you this afternoon. And while Chef Amel is doing so, I want to say a big thank you to all of you. We can never stop talking about relationships. We each have a solution to our different problems, the different problems that we face in our different relationships. But yet, the most important thing is for you to try as much as possible to keep your family messy and your relationship intact. For all of you who are facing one problem or another right now, hey, there is still hope. You should pray if you're a Christian to God. You should pray if you're a Muslim to Allah. And if at all you don't believe in anything, then still believe that there's a possibility of you fixing any difficult situation. So we are going to find out from you, Reverend. You haven't yet had a taste of it.
Oh,
and it's very colorful. I think Chef Amel stayed true to the colors and to the shape. Julienne.
thank you. It looks good.
I can see the julienne in the plate. Bravo, bravo. Bravo, Chef Amel Monty. What do you think of this
It's
sauce?
good. It's good.
It's good, and you already know that the chicken is certainly going to be good. Okay, we're going to leave in the company of Albert et Yannick pour la dernière chanson de cet après-midi. Et merci une fois de plus. Et n'oublie pas de regarder les émissions à la CRTV parce qu'il y a beaucoup de choses intéressantes qu'on va vous montrer et qu'on va vous apprendre. Merci.
Mon petit hameau, chacun a son boulot pour faire vivre le village. Chez moi, ma profession, c'est de faire des chansons pour nous et ceux des parages. Et mon accordéon produit ses plus beaux sons pour faire danser hommes et femmes. Je suis le plus aimé et le plus méprisé, c'est curieux mais c'est comme ça. Je suis l'accordéoniste du village.